Welcome to day 12. The levels to the ego. So we're now bringing awareness to the ego. Within conversations, I, the self, you, and us. Looking at it through three perspectives. And when it comes to ego, we start from the self. We strip it right back, start from scratch. So we've explored bringing awareness to our breath, the stillness, and the face expressions, starting from the soul. Because when we stay in the soul, our awareness then is in the external, to the other. And if we can always stand on our truth, which it will get tested all the time, but straight away we can identify. And then as we go along this journey, as we dive into conversations, as we have more experiences, we get to break down each moment. There's layers to the ego. So today we're going to bring awareness to the layers. And this is from personal experience. And as I speak the words, bring your awareness to the images that take place. See if you can attach it to moments within your life. There's certain people in our life that we always get met with resistance. When we look back, they will become our biggest teachers. There's certain people, they push our buttons. They test us. If we change this perspective, they teach us. They make us more resilient. They help us grow. It's just in these moments, that's quite hard to see. It's the feelings that come with it. However, if we simplify life down to a choice, the soul, the truth, and ego. So we start from the soul, the self, the breath, stillness, and the face expressions. We then explored, when we start from our self, we look at the other. And we can mirror, so face expressions, energy, movement, different layers to the ego. And we are the protector of our energy. We always have a choice. We are always in control. Let's start from that as a foundation. So as we go on this journey, always remember and say this back to yourself: I am in control. I have a choice in every moment. And now, I'm going to enhance my awareness by breaking down these layers. Every conversation, every interaction now becomes more teaching, more experience. So let's start going into a conversation. And we're going to talk about truth. So again, bring it back to ourselves first. If we're calm, if we're still, it means we're present. So if we speak from our feelings, speak from the heart, speak the truth. If we are able to do that, we can stand on that as a knowing that what comes out our mouth is the truth. So how it's received, it's not our responsibility. And how it is received is where we get to pay attention and bring awareness to. It's so interesting. Because if we say something from a place of love and it's met with resistance, There's ego in the way. We just need to identify the ego. So I like to use the bouncer analogy. And there's different layers to the ego. Remember, ego is unconscious. It's not paying attention. Automated. Pretty much most of the world. They say 95% of our thoughts are the same from yesterday. And 95% of those thoughts are the same from the day before that. We are on a loop all the time. So just know, as soon as we identify the ego, expect certain repeated behaviors to take place. This is the beauty of this. You identify it all the time. Two people from two different walks of life, but yet, in these moments, very similar traits. And it is like clockwork. So if we use the castle again, the mind, and the gatekeepers of the castle, we always have a choice at the mind, allowing what comes into our inner temple, what comes into our safe space, protecting our energy. So every step of the way, and this is important, every step of the way, there will always be signs. If things escalate, after that heated moment and we reflect back, you'll see there would be loads of moments leading up to that where we had a choice. We could stop. We should have said something. Shouldn't have even gone. That's enough. All throughout. And this is where we got to be honest with ourselves. So let's take the gatekeeper. And I like to use the analogy of the bouncer. So coming into the nightclub, coming into our temple. So whenever there is a conversation, remember, it's me and you. So we want to bring awareness, first of all, are they even engaged in this conversation? Are they making eye contact with me? Is their mind wandering? Are they even listening? All signs straight away, because if you identify these things and they continue, just know that things can escalate because they're in their ego. We can make them aware at every step of the way. And in this expansion course, we will identify a lot more levels of the ego. Today is to bring awareness of how a flow of a conversation usually goes. So conversations on truth, on feelings, on a certain topic. Remember, if you're speaking a truth, it's not you that has to defend it. If someone doesn't agree with you, they have to tell you why. And what I've realized in life, people are very quick to point out what's not right, what you're wrong about, what does not work. They're very quick to point all those out. Yet, if you ask them a question and throw it back on them, they try to get away from answering the question. They don't take any ownership of their words. They project. They have nothing to say themselves. And this, again, really important to bring awareness to. It's empowering. So people say that you are wrong, or what you said has upset them. It's gone too far this time. They need to tell you why. So assumptions is a big thing to bring awareness to as well, because once you start bringing awareness to this, throughout these conversations, you have the power to bring it back. And if we say bring it back to the soul. If you see they're in ego, we can ask questions straight away. A question asking as king will evoke a feeling, and that answer can come from their soul. So certain questions we can ask: family, holidays, passions, hobbies, pets. There's certain go-tos, and again we bring awareness to who we're speaking to, We can always bring it back to something that lights them up. Something they do have in common with. Something that changed the energy in a conversation. So again, bring awareness. Each person is a different person, different game plan. Some people have to work out a lot more. This is all awareness to start with. Don't need to change anything. So let's say that we are having a conversation and you can see they get a little triggered with what's been coming up. A certain topic, certain discussion, get a bit agitated. They disagree. Their opinion's very different to ours, and they make it clear about their opinion. So what happens is we can pay attention to the energy. Imagine in a nightclub, I say, sorry, you are not coming in tonight. You've had too much to drink. You are not coming in. First of all, a civil discussion. It's triggered him a bit. What do you mean I'm not coming in? And they try to talk to you. Oh, please let me come in. My friends are all in there. My girlfriend's in there. I need to come in. I'll sober up. No, sorry, you are not coming in tonight. So at the moment, it's civil conversation. But you can see there's a resistance there. Remember, resistance is ego. However, there's ego from love, and then you got the ego on the other end of the spectrum. Just know these are starting points. These are markers. So if you notice any resistance, bring awareness. It could go to the next level. Something to pay attention to. So they try again. And then they try going off topic next. So we're talking a conversation. They don't like what they've heard. And they'll try to go off topic. They'll bring up another point. Bring them back to that conversation. Bring them back to that question. We're talking about this thing. Why are you going over here? Come back to this one. What's your thoughts on this? They'll try going. So they might just say, coming into the club, they'll give you every excuse possible. You say, no, you're not coming in. You had too much to drink. I've made up my mind. Now I'm standing on that. So this is when you pay attention. So then their energy will start to shift slightly. They go off topic first of all, you bring them back on. There's a bit of agitation there. It's like their ego's being caught out, but they're going to try to fight it. Some people accept it, many fight it. And this is something to pay attention to. In a conversation, you're talking about a thing. You're sharing information. You're sharing a story. Yet do not take it personally, because what normally comes back is, if they're unable to get anywhere from this conversation, the next part is they go personal. They start talking about you, or what you said, or what you did before. Bring awareness to that, because as soon as it goes about you, all of a sudden now they have gone into ego. It's nothing to do with the conversation anymore. And this is where, as the bouncer, you step in, because it will escalate. And when we step in, when we notice things right away, then that build-up does not take place. That momentum, that frustration, at some point it comes out. Especially when it's a truth. The ego gets rattled. So bring them back. Why are you making it about me? Let's focus on what we're discussing. What's your thoughts on that? It's not about me. I've just shared this information. Please have a look at this. And again, I'm giving one example, but this is always how it goes. It will go personal. They bring up a past moment. And if we're present, we know what the conversation's about. If we're unconscious, we then go and defend those comments. They're coming from ego. It's not their soul. They're unconscious, which means it's not them being them. Always remember this. So when it goes personal and you can stop them, the next level after that, you can go back and forth, but the next level after that, then the energy shifts again. Now they're getting a bit wound up. Now they're getting irritated. Now they're getting frustrated. Now they seem like they're in a rush. They want to get out. So when they make it about what you said before, and making it about you, then the next stage after that can get a bit more aggressive. There might be a sarky comment, a sly comment, a little dig, a poke. Because their ego knows that they're losing, they now need to go after your ego. And this is where to bring awareness to. We can't take it personally. Because it's quite easy to just lose it as soon as they say something like that. Because it is emotional, there is attachment. This is why I love your past don't define you. So if they bring it up, that's my past. We've already dealt with that, we've already discussed that. Let's come back to the conversation. Bring it right back. Be confident on this. So every part of these layers you're noticing now. There's always a question. Then it can get to the next stage. Imagine the nightclub now. You're not coming in. That's it. You're not coming in anymore. You're this and you're that. Okay. You could stop it. You could ask him to leave. You could get someone else to take him away. And then it can get really emotional. So that ego from love goes from ego from the other extreme. Horrible words are said. Tantrums, anger, frustration. And this is not always, but remember, these are levels of ego. At some point, it goes like this. If we don't protect the energy, if we don't step in at any point, if we decide to stay in these conversations, sometimes we enter conversations and we're already at like the part where they're already talking about us. They're already irritated. There is a frustration. There is some fear. Yet we still go into those conversations. Remember, ego is not a truth. We are speaking truth, so our energy is the truth. We, the gatekeeper, choose what energy space we go into and what energy space from the mind we say no. It's a knowing from a feeling, the knowing within. So the levels of the awareness. We don't want us getting in fights. However, we broke down these levels of awareness in other areas of society. You can see at some point it goes like that. Then you'll meet certain people. And we don't know what they've been going on in their day, what they've had going on in their life. And some people may be so used to being able to speak a certain way to certain people, including yourself, that it's automated for them that they can go to this place next. We can stop that every point of the way. If it does get to that, again, what's your truth? Your breath, because your heart's going to be going now. Stillness, because their ego, their energy is going to be looking out for any opportunity to latch onto. Because the ego knows they're in the wrong now. It's got to go with it. It's already taken place. And your face expressions are everything. If you can stare from love, knowing your truth, and weather the storm in that part. So different levels. Always look out for the you part, because it's from there the energy will shift if it continues. If you stop in and say, why are you making it about me? And remember, it doesn't have to be aggressive, our questions to them. Why are you talking about that one? Let's come back onto this question. You said that's wrong. Let us know why. You said that's wrong. Can you show me then what is the truth? You can also help people bring awareness to their energy. And it's a soul slap with truth. Wow. Why have you got so worked up over that? Where's that come from? Go on, we'll talk about what we're just discussing then. Your energy was so much better. This don't serve you. You can say things like that. Again, you work at it. The opportunity comes right. You say it from the heart. It's still a truth. Some people are unaware how negative they are. How moody they get. How triggered they get. Make them aware of it. Whoa, when we spoke, where did that come from? And again, do it with compassion. Do it with empathy. And they might say, look, I've had a bad day. I'm sorry. I wasn't aware of it. And in some cases, their ego will fight it, but just know you're planting the seed. Many situations before, including that conversation I mentioned in yesterday's session, where I said, oh, that guy was so angry when I was listening like a stone with ears. And I let him know. I said, your aggression, it's the first time I noticed it, but you're so angry when we have these conversations. A week later, he said, am I really that angry? So it definitely does register. We're doing it from presence, and we're keeping away from the emotions. Again, this is a work in progress. So we can also use questions in our favor. And this is magic. Questions are king. Questions unlock the key to the other person. Questions allow the other person to talk about themselves. Think about things that they've yet to bring to their awareness. And your questions can unlock big changes in their life, big realizations, huge insights. Questions. And this comes from a book, Nancy Klein, Time to Think. And on Audible, More Time to Think. Her voice is like an angel. And there's 5 questions that turn around any conversation. Any conversation. So I like to look at myself as a conductor, as the composer. If the energy's gone off, I bring it back. Bring it back to the soul. If it shoots off over there, let's bring it back again. What can I bring it back to the truth? Bring it back to energy. Bring it back to passion, love, peace, calmness. There's so many tools to this. Let's start with the questions. So imagine that our job, we're looking out for the negativity, we turn it to the positivity. The problem, we show them the solution. The challenge, yet we show them the change. We can use time in our favor too. Well, look how consistent you've been just today, just on its own. Look at the work you've done. Imagine keeping that up now for the next few days. Look at the difference in your energy. How are you going to feel after that? Well, let's start here. Your past don't define you. So, mums and dads out here, this is great for family members. This is great for kids. It empowers people to start coming up with their own truths. It allows people to bring awareness to the limiting beliefs that they put on themselves, the restrictions and the hurdles that they put in their way. And again, we can ask these questions to ourselves too. That's what I love about questions. Questions to self. When we ask to others, we're really asking to ourselves too. So let's use an example. Let's say that we have a younger boy, a younger son, and he's come to you and things are really crap at the moment, really stressful. Got loads on my mind. So you ask them, what's troubling you at the moment? What have you got on your mind? What's going on? And this is where you listen like a stone with ears. Allow them to speak. So stillness and the breath. Anytime you want to get involved with the conversation, allow them to have that silence, to have that space. Your presence on its own is the best gift that you can give them. Magic takes place in the stillness, in the silence. So what problems you got on? And they will say a few. Next. Instead of identify, oh my God, yeah, that's so horrible. Oh, I'm so sorry for you. No, you're staying neutral. Allow them to fire it all at you. You're weathering their storm. And then you say, what else is bothering you? And what else have you got on at the moment? And what other things are bothering you? Keep saying, what else? And what else? To the point to say, oh, no more. Then, you ask them, out of all the things that you've just brought up, and thank you for sharing, what's the one that's bothering you the most at the moment? And always, they will come up with one. They'll be clear. When they're saying all the different things, bring awareness to their energy, the way that they discuss it all. Energy doesn't lie. Certain things, you know, it's that one. You can see it. You can feel it. Might not be the first thing that they say, but there's certain ones that you can see and feel. But let them answer. assumptions from us. Let's get out of the habit of us trying to think we can fix everyone. We know everything's going on. No, we don't. We don't at all. We're learning. We don't know where everyone else is at all. We think we know people. We don't. Are we there for them? Do we care for them? Yes. We don't know feelings from others. Think about your feelings. Does anyone understand your feelings like you do? It's hard enough to get people to understand our words, let alone our feelings. It's hard enough to put our feelings into words. So how are they going to understand it when they got to hear that? So let them highlight the one thing that is bothering them. Then next question. Do you believe that's true? So they'll say all these different things. Do you feel that is true? Is that really the case? Again, silence. Watch them think to themselves. Their eyes go up. Yeah, but that. Do you think it's true? Sometimes they'll be thinking for a little while and they go, oh, okay, maybe not. And you say, okay, if you know it's not true, and you've just agreed that then, what's a more empowering outcome? What's the opposite of what you just said? What's the solution? And they'll come up with a few. Well, yeah, maybe I overanalyze that a bit too much. Maybe I'm overthinking about it. I just really wanted them to hear me. I wanted them to understand. All these different things have come up. Okay, so if you know it's not true, and you have a opposite, empowering solution, how would that change things? What would be the outcome from that? And allow them. So now we're getting them from the negative state, using their imagination. They're manifesting what the outcome and the solution will be. All the problems, there is always a solution. So we get them to identify the problems and we let them speak. What else? What else? What else? Then we say, out of all the things you said, what's the one that's bugging you the most? Do you believe that's true? What would be a more empowering or something opposite than what you just said then? If you were to know that was the truth, how would that change things? What outcomes comes from this? Those 5 questions can turn around any conversation. And the beauty of it, it all comes from them. They get to speak first of all, you're listening. They get out in the open. In that silence, that safe space that you gave them. Some things we say out loud, actually, it doesn't make sense. And you give them a safe space to not even feel bad about it. You're not judging them. And then by asking that question, do you believe that's true? If it's not a truth, and you're giving them that question, they can't lie. So if they try to lie, you can see, really? Look at your energy when you say that. What's a more empowering outcome? And they'll come up with solutions. Question them a bit more if you can. Bring awareness to their energy. Look when you talk about that, you light up. You should be talking about this more. Look at your energy on there. There you go. Where's that smile come from? Okay, how would it change things if that was the truth? And they come up with that solution. The soul is the light, the awareness. They're now thinking of it. Future thoughts. The feeling is now. They're feeling it. It's an experience. And then it's the actions to put into action where it will come true. So looking at the conversations then, the levels of the ego, from logic, from distraction, to personal, to an energy shift, to spiteful, and where the ego really gets in, poking the buttons. And then anything after that is so far away from the truth. So we've got different stages from that. Remember, when we enter these conversations, we're looking out for the signs straight away. Start with ourselves first. Make sure we're prepared when we go into these conversations. Breath, stillness, face expressions. They become automated in the end. We can bring awareness to the words that they're speaking. Are they just moaning straight away? Is it all negative? How are you? Oh, I'm terrible. Life's crap. Okay, prepare for that. Do we need to enter the storm? Is there topics that you know that trigger them so much that when they come up with that position, with that energy space, can we protect ourselves by staying away from them conversations if they bring it up? Now, we're not going there today. Let's stay on this topic. Look at your energy when talking about that. Composer, conductor, always in control. And then our questions, if we see people are struggling, if people are moaning, get them to speak about it. Cut out the gossiping. When they blame other people, when they're talking about other people, always, in your case, bring it back to their self again. Yeah, we can think that other people make us feel like that, but in fact, we're the ones making ourselves feel like that. It's our feelings. We're in control of our feelings. And as soon as you start breaking things down, at each step of the way then, you now have a game plan. It's something to go away, assess, reflect, ask yourself what would change next time. And that gatekeeper, the disciples of the mind, the discipline, you're now prepped for all the different excuses that come your way. All the attacks, all the digs, all the emotions, you have more preparedness for it. I now can go into conversations, I already know my truth. So if it goes away from my truth, I start back there. I throw the ball at them. What are you suggesting then? You're saying I'm wrong. Let me know why. What's your thoughts? What's your views? What's your feelings? And when we have these conversations, always want to finish on a win. Some recognition, some acknowledgement. A thank you. Thank you for conversation. I really appreciate what you've said to me today. Thank you for sharing. Then give them the truth. But you've got this. When you speak about them things, continue that. Your life's going to continue going that way. You're in control of it. A pep talk for their soul. Remember, your words are echoing through you. That is a truth. That's a command to your body. That's an instruction from the soul. So enjoy these conversations now. I'll send some examples from Time to Think. And the beauty of this book, she gives all different types of conversations. Business meetings, family meetings, in the office, with strangers. And it all comes back to those 5 questions. We can turn it around, empower someone else with the questions that we ask. That then ripples into every other aspect of our life. Always in control. Always being present. Always being the gift. So please do let me know what does come up for you. And with all the last few days, this is so much awareness. Remember, this is work in progress. Break down to one thing at a time if we have to, but we're awareness of all of them. There's certain things that we let slip. Things get into our inner temple, but we're aware we can go back. We can share. And all it's going to do is enhance your experience. I am so much of a protector of my energy now. I rarely find myself getting into those sort of conversations. Certain stuff that I put out triggers people, but I don't allow it to get to there. Because if you're getting emotional and I've spoken my truth, let's start with your emotions. If you're coming at me from fear, let's start there first. It's irrelevant what you got to say. I'm not here to have debates. I especially do not want arguments in my life. It's a waste of energy. I love my energy. I love my soul. I love myself. I love when you show up as yourself. So if I'm in control, I can always bring it back to the soul. Back to the truth. Back to that energy. So thank you so much, everyone. And I'm excited to see what comes up for you